Okay, finishing off this 4.3 for Math 124. We're going to do solving equations in quadratic form. So equations in quadratic form is going to be an equation with three terms such that the leading term has the power other than 2. Middle term has an exponent that's half the exponent of the leading term, and the third term is a constant. So we have some examples here, like x to the fourth, 5 minus 5x squared plus 4. So it's in that form. It's kind of that pattern that we're talking about, where x to the sixth plus 7x cubed minus 9 equals 0, or x to the 2/3 plus 4x to the 1/3 plus 2 equals 0. So how to solve an equation in quadratic form? Identify the exponent on the leading term and determine whether it is double the exponent of the middle term. If it is, substitute a variable such as u. U is a very common variable that we use to substitute for the variable portion of the middle term. Rewrite the equation so that it takes on the standard form of the quadratic. Solve using one of the usual methods for solving the quadratic. Could be factoring, could be the quadratic formula. Replace the substitution variable with the original term and solve the remaining equation. So we have, it looks like 3 opportunities for this fun. So the first one, and often what I'll do is I'll take the middle term here. So that middle term has an x squared. I'll make that my u. U equals x squared. So this, think of this as x squared squared minus 8x squared minus 9 equals 0. And I think it's easier to see it if we just said u squared minus 8u minus 9 equals 0. And we can factor that to be u minus 9 times u plus 1 equals 0. So u minus 9 equals 0 means u equals 9. U plus 1 equals 0 means u equals negative 1. So the question, what was u? U was x squared. So x squared equals 9. Means x would be plus or minus the square root of 9. So x is plus or minus 3. X squared equals negative 1. So x would be plus or minus the square root of negative 1. Oh, that's not real. So we can't really go any further. I mean, you could, if you happen to know about this, x is plus or minus I. I is the square root of negative 1. Okay, so that's an example of a quadratic type equation. This next one, example 10, is also quadratic-like because you have something squared minus 4 times something minus 21. Now you could expand this x minus 5 squared and distribute the 4 and then go that way with it. You probably hear my cat. Sorry about that. So again, I'll say u equals x minus 5. And this gives us u squared minus 4u minus 21 equals 0. Stop, kitty cat. And I would factor that to be u minus 7 times u plus 3 equals 0. So I have u minus 7 equals 0 means u equals 7. U plus 3 equals 0, so u equals negative 3. So again, we go back and substitute back for what we originally had for the value of u. And that was x minus 5 equals 7. And we add 5 to both sides. So x equals 12. And where was I? X minus 5 equals negative 3. We add 5 to both sides. And x equals 2. So those are our two solutions here. The last one, this looks really bad, but it's really not as bad as it looks. So let me write this with this factored. So we have 3x plus 2 over x minus 2 plus 1 over x equals, and I wrote the spacing for a reason, negative 2 over, and notice this is x times x minus 2. Hey, that's the common denominator. So we can clear out the denominator. I'm going to write a note here. Clear out denominator. We do that by multiplying by the denominator, by multiplying by the LCD. Okay, so I'm going to multiply everything by x times x minus 2, x times x minus 2, and x times x minus 2. So I guess I got to change colors here. I don't have to, but I will. So the x minus 2's divide out there, the x's divide out there, and the x's divide out, and the x minus 2's divide out. And we end up having x times 3x plus 2. So we have 3x squared plus 2x plus x minus 2 from this middle term minus 2 equals minus 2, excuse me. And I can add 2 to both sides. And I have 3x squared plus 3x equals 0. Not seeing where this is a quadratic like so much. It is actually a quadratic. So 3x times x plus 1 equals 0. So 3x equals 0, x equals 0. Or x plus 1 equals 0, x equals negative 1. So those are our solutions here. X equals 0 can't work because of there and there. I mean, this whole thing here. So that's not a viable solution. It's not in the domain. A negative 1 would be allowed. So that's our only solution there. Okay, and that's it for 4.3. Hope that makes sense.